curious, passionate and enthusiastic. So my name's Alex, I'm one of the trainee foresters at the Forest of Marston Vale Trust. So as I've come into my traineeship, and the more I learn, the more I realise that I've got a lot more to learn. There's so much more information that goes into making an informed decision on a woodland. You know, it's been great actually working with some really smart people that have helped me gain that knowledge. But also given me the ability to make my own decisions as well with what I think is potentially the right thing to do. So, you know, it just enables me to ask those questions, and in turn it means I can learn a lot better. So part of my traineeship means that I need to understand the practical side of things, and that means, you know, working with a chainsaw, actually felling some trees. That's really important because when it comes to low impact forestry, it means that, you know, you can actually get in there and you can make a massive difference when you're thinning out a woodland, for example, or clearing around a pond for biodiversity and really getting that ecological value. You don't need to come in with big machinery all the time. Sometimes you can make a real difference actually getting in there with a chainsaw. So understanding that value is, yeah, it's been really good. One of the placements we did was with Guy Lambourne at Wasseldine, and they have 70 acres of land where they're actually regenerating some of that into valuable grassland habitat, grazing with red poll cattle, but they also have a section of woodland, and that is primarily made up of hazel and willow coppice. And so that is actually a viable business venture for them. Yeah, so not all trees coppice, but obviously hazel does, and willow. It means you cut it down at the bottom and it will shoot up multiple shoots, so you can have, instead of one big thick stem, multiple stems that come out, and then, like I say, after about 7 years you'll coppice it and you'll have sort of that diameter, and you can use it for all different things. Habitat management is an extremely varied thing. I think it's about creating links and pathways instead of like an island of, you know, a real rich like habitat, but on a larger scale, how do you connect all that up? A lot of the hedgerows are used as like motorways, as people reference as motorways because it's ways that wildlife can traverse across lands and get to new habitats and stuff like that. But also creating that mosaic, you know, being able to have wetland habitats, you know, ponds, obviously woodland if it's managed properly, and just making sure that there's species diversity as well. So there's so many different things that come into that. Yeah, some of the key steps is understanding the species that you're going to put in there, making sure you've got a diverse mix, but also looking to the future. As we know, obviously climate change is going to massively affect that. Wetter winters, drier summers, and that, you know, that in turn affects the soil, but also how that tree is, you know, used to those sort of environments. So making sure that we're putting the right things in the ground that in 50 years will thrive and it won't go the other way. I mean, what you gain from it is essentially a stepping stone. So this sector is quite difficult to get into, and to be able to, you know, get face to face with people that know the things that you need to know, you're not going to get that without a traineeship necessarily. So yeah, to be able to get here and get that knowledge, get that experience, means you've got a stepping stone to really sort of go into a career, whether that's a degree apprenticeship, maybe you want to be an assistant forester role and then level up. It is that stepping stone for you. You know, you might have some really good transferable skills from a previous role, or maybe just finished A-levels or university or whatever. Those skills are still valuable, but this then gives you that stepping stone to make those skills relevant and valuable within this sector. So you need to be curious, firstly. You need to be curious and you need to be passionate about what you're doing and why. You know, asking questions, asking the right questions, and also trying to figure them out. It's good to ask questions so you can learn, but then also you think outside the box and try and figure that out as well is very important.
Thank you.
Cheers.